Chris Dancy refers to himself as the world's most connected man. He calls himself a data cartographer, wearing numerous technologies on his person, which he claims provides him with a wealth of personal data that impacts on how he is living his life. Obviously, all of this is, or should be at least, of great interest to brands and marketers who continue to search for unique human insight, which ultimately impacts on how we engage with product and service. Now, a special two-part exclusive interview with Dancy, who spoke to us at the recent Cannes Lions Festival of Creativity. Chris Dancy, a very warm welcome to you. Said to be the world's most connected man. As I look at you, are you the face, the body, the personification of the new age consumer?
No, I hope not. I think this is garish. I think it's a garish display of technology that I have on. Unfortunately, this is the best we got right now. A lot of our wearable devices are kind of oversized and they're ugly, and I think they try to be fashionable, but no. I think maybe in the future things will be smaller. They'll be in our clothes, they'll be in the furniture, so you won't have to actually have stuff on you. You can just live life. Let's
rewind before we talk about the technology itself. What was the motivation here? What are you setting out to prove?
Gosh, 5 years ago I turned 40, and I
terrible day that. Yeah, I've been there myself. Yeah.
It actually wasn't that bad. And I was about 120 pounds heavier than I am now, and I was smoking 2 packs of cigarettes a day, and I was enjoying the drink a little too much on the weekends. And I just thought to myself, you know, there's so much about my life I'm not sure of, and when I look at my physical health and I look at my career was doing well, but I thought, I don't know if in 10 years or 2020, I don't know if this is really sustainable.
Sure, yeah.
So I just took those two things. I said, you know, my physical health and my career, I said, what's going to be important in 2020, and what do I need to be there? And the two things I picked were, I need to physically and mentally be here, however that journey. And the other thing I need to understand was the information it took to do that. And that's when I realized, oh, that's also what I'll do in 2020. So I think, you know, if we look at what's happening with the world today, most of it's based on attention. You know, how do we keep someone's attention? How do we borrow someone's attention? How do we get it away from a device? By the end of the decade, most of the world will be based on data-assisted living. So life will just happen around you. Things will happen on purpose because of the way you respond to them. So feedback systems.
I want to talk to you about the data that you collect and how you've extrapolated that and why it is useful to your life. So let's start. If I'm not mistaken, you're carrying 10 or 11 things with you.
At any given point.
Let's start with the narrative clip camera. Where is that and what is it?
That's right here. Mm-hmm. So it's a little teeny camera. It takes a picture every few seconds, all day long, automatically. And then it saves that film to my phone and syncs it to a cloud device, and it sorts it by day and by location. It's really useful if you meet someone like you, and I want to remember what you were wearing or where we were. You can force a picture if you want. But on its own, I think, like a lot of this technology, on its own, it's kind of silly. Right? Because it's just a bunch of pictures throughout the day. Now, there have been times where I found it wonderfully useful. I was at a restaurant and I was like, what was that salsa? I loved that salsa. And I pulled up the app, went back to the day, and I had the menu in front of me, and then I had the salsa, and I showed it to the waitress. She was, oh, that is really neat. How'd you do that?
That's one there, yes.
Exactly,
yeah.
Exactly. So there are times like that. And there are moments that you don't realize happen during the day that are pretty magical.
Okay, let's obviously the two phones that you're carrying. Yeah. What's the difference here?
So the difference is really the Android devices actually have a lot of sensors that the current, who knows what will happen in a few months with Apple, but the current iPhones don't. So they have things like a barometer, temperature, light, and sound meters in them, magnetic meters, proximity meters. So all that information is being collected by the phone automatically. So a lot of times we don't realize how bright something is and how it affects our mood or how loud things are. So something as simple as a sound meter that shows you, you know, is this really an uncomfortable amount of noise?
Okay. So are we sitting slightly over the annoyance zone?
We're slightly over. That's a little bit of the background noise.
We haven't gone to the pain zone just yet.
No, but planes can be that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, again, that's just, I'd love an application that actually used that to, like, maybe now it's not the best time to tell me something's wrong. Right? So yeah, so that really the Android device controls a lot of the environmental information. It's like a
Yeah, and then this looks pretty
just
familiar.
my iPhone.
Yeah?
It's pretty familiar. This one actually controls a lot of my home systems and my biological systems. So how I log food, how I log my exercise, log my dreams. The three things that log my activity. This logs my mood. This logs these are little sensors in my house that log.
And you're updating this all the time. Right?
It goes full time.
What did you dream about last night? You could tell me.
I could.
Unless you want to tell me. But I mean, it's
no problem.
Yeah.
I don't remember now because it goes really.
But what I'm saying is that
I was base jumping.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, good for you. I'm glad it turned out all right and that you're able to sit here today.
Well, I've never base jumped before.
Around your waist is something that is monitoring your posture.
Yeah, so it's called a Lumo back. It's right there. Okay. So basically, if I start to slouch, it gives me a little vibration. If I sit too long, it'll vibrate. I've got other little very calm notification systems. So you can use the vibration. Sometimes I don't want that some days. So I'll use the lights in the house. I'll dim them a little bit if I've sat too long. Or if I get too excited, talk too loud. I have the lights slightly change colors in the house, or the temperature in the house changes a little bit. So I use all this information to actually change the environment.
Which is a good thing for you.
It's a great thing.
It makes you a more centered person.
Centered, and we really don't need more distractions, right? Just little things to help us get through our day. I mean, these are brilliant tools, but they're sucking the life out of us. Ultimately, like I said earlier, in the future, no devices. I think in the future, just have the phone.
Okay, so it'll be one agglomerated device that does everything.
Like the new iOS for Apple that they announced that has something called Health Kit, and that has all the health stuff in it.
Okay, let's segue elegantly now to your wrists, shall we? Where do you want to start? Let's start with that.
Yeah, either side. So you'll notice that my devices are in white or black.
Yeah.
Right? So white devices display information. And I kind of did this because a lot of people don't understand when they think about wearables. So this displays information, this displays information, this displays. So Google Glass, a Pebble watch, and a phone. So just I have information cascade through me. So alerts about my pets, alerts from my family, alerts about my body come through Google Glass as pop-ups. Alerts from friends that are important goes to the Pebble, and everyone else goes to the phone because I really hate looking at the phone. I feel like it's taking my soul, like Indians getting their pictures taken. So and things in black are collecting information. So
what's that?
Yep. So this is called a body media, and this does a really good job at measuring all sorts of good things like motion and rest. But unlike
this is through your skin, hey?
This does through galvanic skin response. But unlike traditional sensors, it actually does resting states. So if you're sleeping sitting up, it knows. Whereas these, you have to say, I'm sleeping now and I'm flat and and hope it works. This just knows because your skin response is good. This is a Fitbit. I use this because it works in conjunction with my scale, so my activity and my weight together. This is just a Jawbone. What I like about the Jawbone is it actually has a nice API set. So it actually, in my timeline, shows me what I ate, my movement, my sleep, but also ties into my truck. So my vehicle that I drive has a sensor in it. So actually I see how many miles I drove, did I walk, so did I drive more and walk more, what days do I do what? And I go even a little bit further.
Is
like
this
my
stuff
dogs.
on you 24/7, or do you ever sort of technologically derobe?
Sex with new partners,
I
derobe, and then some days I just want to be naked, and I'll take it all off.
And how long does it take you to put it all on?
Not that long. It's like back when I used to wear a suit. It's actually easier to put this on than put on a suit.
Even Dancy's dogs are tracked via tag, which logs their daily activities. And although this type of lifestyle would be tiring to many, with numbers running his day, Dancy calls it motivating. We'll have more with the most connected man on earth when Mags on Media continues.
News that moves. ENCA.com.